Okay guys, wheels through time, always something happening here. Just pulled in today our pal Noah from Pennsylvania, and right here Noah brought down a 1945 Harley Davidson knucklehead, and our mission in the next day and a half, we're gonna roll this thing out of the truck, roll it to the shop. Me and Noah are gonna get this thing running hopefully in pretty short order. So when was the last time this thing ran?
I'm not really sure, because it's last he went to his bike night in Lansdale, Pennsylvania, it was 2009.
2009.
So I thought it was only 10 years ago, but 2009 is more than 10 years. So I'm thinking if we pull the battery, hopefully there's a date on the battery.
Yeah.
That'll be the closest way we'll tell his last run. Thankfully, drained the fluids out, or out of the gas and everything out of it, so it should be an easier start than not.
Fingers crossed, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But this is what we do here at Wheels Through Time, is get them back up and running. So let's go ahead and grab the ramp. We'll peel this thing out of here, look the bike over, and get some general ideas of what it's gonna take. Cool old dealer decal on there. Harley Davidson Sales and Service, Bicycles, Parts and Repairing, Parkersburg, West Virginia.
And it actually has an 85 inspection sticker for West Virginia on the bottom of the seat.
1985 yeah, cool. Battery bounced around a little bit, that's all right. Rocking, guys. So 1945 knuckle, right?
Yep.
And this is an FL or an F?
FL.
Yeah, it's a 1945 FL. So that's your 74 cubic inch job, guys. Yeah, so 1941 Harley Davidson debuts the model FL. They were 61 cubic inches up until 74 comes out in 41, and was really Harley's big dog overhead valve machine for the next many, many years, right up through the current day. I mean, they're running some variation of the Harley model FL. So knuckleheads, you know, they're some of our favorite bikes here at the museum. This bike last run 10, 15 or so years ago. Looking at it, you can tell it's been sitting a while. It's dusty and grimy, but that doesn't scare us, you know. Bike like this, have you kicked it?
It does kick
over. Kicks over? Yeah, feels fine.
If you're asking for oil.
Yeah, right, yeah, and it's probably oil in that lower end.
Yep.
Yeah, so cool, man. Yeah, pretty much standard Harley stuff. We got a broken plug wire. That's something to address. All in all, though, I think we're gonna knock this out, dude. It's gonna be a fun project.
Should be.
All right, let's go back a little. Chris, would you go rob the battery and grab a gas can? So
It's actually 20 to 4.
20 to 4?
20 to 4.
Oh God, we got all day. Yeah, 20 to 4. So it's 20 to 4 right now. We're gonna have this bike running in 20 minutes. Pressure's on you. You pull a battery from the panhead. So we're always battery shuffling around here. We keep maybe 20 bikes ready to run on the instant here at the museum. Chris is gonna go rob a battery out of the maybe 1950 panhead, which I've been riding a little bit. We're gonna have to get another battery because I like riding that bike. But so 1950 panhead, we're gonna pull a battery. He's gonna get some gas. Looking at this bike, it looks like it was kind of put up in running condition. So
supposedly it was, yeah.
Yeah, supposedly it was. So if you want to grab, man, and it's like everything is kind of lubed, man. You know, like it doesn't.
Every time I touch it, I'm getting grease on my hands, which means he took care of it. He used the fittings.
Yeah, he sure did, man. Yeah, and you can tell that the bike was worked on by a guy that loved his motorcycle. You've got, this is a new reproduction, but it's original type wiring harnesses. He's got the terminals in the right places. 52,000 miles on a knucklehead. I love seeing bikes that are high mileage. It's just cool to me to look at bikes from this era and know that guys were hammering down the road for miles and miles. You can take a look at that shift gate and see how wore out the slot is. I mean, that thing has been used and abused. See all this slop in here. That's it's well used, but
so yeah, all your are gone.
Yeah, you know, all the notches, you know. Okay, so I got 3 quarts of oil. It's empty, so, and I'll tell you what, the way I always do this, because you never know how much oil seep down to the lower end,
yeah,
is I usually end up putting 2 quarts
And that doesn't have a crankcase drain.
It does. I mean, there is a crankcase drain, but the hardest drain plug in the history of motorcycling is a Harley Big Twin knucklehead panhead drain plug. It hugs that frame rail so tight that you can drain the lower end and you'll spend 20 minutes trying to thread that thing back in because it's so tight. So yeah, here, will you go ahead and pop some oil in those two? I got a funnel for you.
And that was bone dry, right on the stick?
That was bone dry, yeah. So, and the thing is, there's no telling how much might be in the bottom. One of the things I like to do is, it takes about 3.5, a little more than 3.5 quarts in a normal oil tank. I like to put 2 in because you don't know what's going to circulate back from the bottom end back to the oil tank. So it might end up filling that tank all the way back up, but we got to start with something.
Yeah.
So. Kind of looks like it's the wrong carb needle in there too. I might swap that out before. It's an M35, so I think that's the right carburetor for this. I'm gonna go ahead and put oil in the trans. I think we're dry. Yeah, pretty dry. So we'll go ahead and put some oil in the transmission.
Yeah, we're up to the
danger line. A little above the danger line. It's where we like to live.
Yeah, we're above the, no, we're all the way up. We're all the way up here.
Yeah. Okay. Solid.
Yeah.
Okay. There we are. We got plenty of oil in the lower end. Yeah. Cool, dudes. I don't even know if it's been 20 minutes yet.
Battery time?
What'd we say? 20 minutes? 5 minutes. We better stand around and BS for about 10 minutes before we go kicking this thing. We wouldn't want to set any records. Okay, so where's our battery? Chris, you got that battery? Excellent. Let's drop it in. Bingo. Headlight?
Yep.
Headlight. Look, and his fender light wired in with a headlight. Tail light. Got a tail light, got a brake light?
Yeah, gets
got
brighter.
A brake light. Amazing, man. The guy did, you can always tell the guys that really took care of their stuff. Anything on there for a year?
Oh, it's a K11, so that should be a 2011.
Okay. Well, there you go. Okay, guys, so addressing the plug wire. We haven't even brought the lift up yet. So
You're too excited.
Way cool. You know what? We'll just solder that all back together.
Check the points a while.
Yeah, if you want to pull that points cover, I was going to go without even checking them, but I like how you think.
Ooh, you get spark, yeah.
Big hot spark.
That'll work.
You know what's really interesting too, looking at that high-speed needle in the carburetor, my first thought is to change it, but this looks like a ridden bike, so I know that's the wrong high-speed needle, but being a ridden bike, you about got to leave it.
Yeah,
and see how it runs before we go changing anything, because if this guy rode this thing as much as that odometer indicates, it seems to me...
So that's a fatter or a thinner?
Well, it's just a different shape on top, and
okay.
I don't know if the taper is necessarily different, the length is different. I'm not sure, so we're going to find out with how this thing runs. Sitting real pretty. This thing ought to crank up with a little bit of gas, guys.
Do we want to air hose out the tanks? There is some debris in there.
Is there?
Minor.
Yeah. It's got a fuel filter, but we can...
Being as dry.
You hear that?
No.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing? We just had PEX lines put in.
Oh, I hate hearing the air hiss.
Me too. It's the worst, and we've did it for 20 years. Yeah. You're solid in there.
Yeah.
Ah, 21st century here. Okay. We got gas, plug wire. It's been 10 minutes. Here we go, man. You kicking it or me?
It's up to you.
It's up to you, man.
I think you were too excited for months to do it, so I think you're going to do it.
All right. Okay. That surely is enough to... Yeah, we got about a half a tank in there. Maybe not even a half a tank, but... Okay, so fuel goes on. We're gonna go ahead and tap that fuel filter and hope that it stays dry. A little bit of dirt can get in there and keep your needle from closing, so that was my dad's trick. Tap on the float. Get the wrench out of the way. What are we forgetting, guys? Anything? Guesses on number of kicks? 5 kicks.
Yeah, I was gonna
5 kicks, including the 3 primes. Three. There it went. Here it is. 1 to go. Oh, was so close. We're starting over. 3, 4. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah, you can hear that oil.
Yeah, you can hear it. It's puking back into the tank. All right, here it is. That oil light's on. Check, make sure she's returning. Wow, the idle's great, man. Oh yeah, it's pumping. It's 12 minutes. Nice bike. 1945 Harley Davidson FL. Just coming out of the Warriors. I think he said they only made 600 and something bikes.
619?
Yeah, 619 FL models in 1941 or 45. Used to ride in 61s. Just 74 inches is,
so how's it run?
Oh, it runs excellent, man. It runs really well. It's a little ticky, but the power is really super steady. That high-speed needle, he had something figured out. It really runs just like you thought it would from looking at the pictures. Yeah. You know, it's a guy took care of it. Super stoked you brought it down.
Yeah, I had to bring it down.
Ton of fun,
worth
man.
the trip.
Yeah, really, really cool. 1945 Harley Davidson FL, guys. Rare bike from the just war years, a little bit after World War II from Harley Davidson. So you just don't see a ton of these old knuckleheads out on the road. And when they run this good, you got to be a happy guy. So make sure you guys subscribe, tune in. Favorite thing to do is get them running, guys. And you just saw another one breathe life for the first time right here at Wheels Through Time in 15 years.
Yeah, 15
so
years.
Thanks for doing what you do, guys. Support the museum. Check out wheelsthroughtime.com/win this bike. You can win the 37 Knucklehead. It's coming up November 18th. It's one of the things that keeps this museum going. And yeah, 1945 Knucklehead, probably ready for a ride. What do you guys think?